And so this practice that I'd like to introduce you to is sometimes called rain practice. Is anyone familiar with it? Raise your hand if you've practiced the rain practice. Okay, one or two. But, yeah, most people this will be new. Although of course it won't be new at all in that this practice, which is a 4-stage practice, is a revisiting of aspects of mindfulness that you'll be familiar with. Certainly if you've been coming to these sessions over the last few months, we've covered all of the 4 stages at various times. But the rain practice is a in my opinion, a very skillful way of bringing us into presence in stages. So I'll just talk you through the 4 steps, and then we'll practice together. It's best experienced. So the first step of this practice, so this is the R of rain. It's an acronym. The R of rain is recognizing. So this is what happens when we stop and notice. What is our experience? Non-judgmentally, with a sense of interest, with a sense of curiosity. What's going on at this moment? And we notice perhaps the different aspects of what this moment consists of. The feeling tones in the body, thoughts, urges, resistances, external stimuli, and we just acknowledge, we just notice, we just recognize what's here. So after a little while of recognizing, we might move into the second step, which is allowing. Again, this will likely be familiar to you. Allowing the experience to be just what it is. So in some sense, we kind of step out into the space of the moment. So whereas perhaps recognition is a slightly more focused appreciation of what's happening. In allowing, we just kind of as if we open our mind to what's here, as if we're opening our arms, we just open to the moment and allow it to be just as it is. That includes, by the way, the resistances and the reactions and the parts of us that don't want to allow what's going on. If the moment's pleasant, it might be an experience of savoring, of completely opening to the pleasure of the moment. And the third step of the rain practice, so the I, is investigation with kindness. And in this step, we're invited, if we wish to, and it's completely okay, by the way, to stay with the first 2 steps. So you can sometimes just recognizing and allowing is enough. Sometimes we might want to bring a more focused appreciation to a particular part of what's going on. So we can actually use our attentional capacity to lean into a region of experience. This might be a body sensation, it might be a thought, it might be something that's going on around us. And to really get to know this aspect of what it is, of what our experience is. So we might ask ourselves, what's the flavor of it? What's the feeling tone of it if it's a body sensation? Is it sharp or dull or smooth? Or if it's a thought, maybe really asking ourselves, and what is this thought? Is it a fact? Is it a belief? Is it true? We might want to ask ourselves if what's happening is coming from a previous moment, some sense of the causes and conditions that have created this. So a sense of being interested in all the facets of what's happening from a range of perspectives, investigating as if we're kind of like walking around it and we're kind of getting to know it from lots of different views. But this isn't primarily a kind of an intellectual process, it's an experiential process as we ask these questions. And then the fourth step of the practice is non-identification. So this step is a complete dropping of any investigation. It's a willingness to rest in the space of being without any agenda, without any sense of this being personal. Very often we take our experiences so personally, kind of like, oh, this is happening to me and it's awful, or I wish this would happen to me and it would be great. So in non-identification, we let go, as John Kabat-Zinn sometimes says, of the I, me, and mine, and see if it's possible just to rest in awareness, and that this awareness is not personal. It's just a flow of being. And so I found this practice very powerful over, I guess, 10 or so years since I was introduced to it, maybe a little bit more. And so I would like to share it with you and invite you to just experiment with it this evening. And if you want to, following from that as well, I'll record my guided audio so that you can have a copy of that afterwards. Okay, so let's drop into practice again.